Assalamualaikum and good day again to everyone. I am Rozana Kamal, your video lecturer, tutor for EMOM 5103 Change Management. Welcome to our last video lecture for this topic. Before we begin, let us take a final overview of the EMOM 5103 Change Management Framework. Today, we will discuss the last topic regarding sustaining change. This topic will focus on two crucial areas of the change process, namely sustaining and spreading change. Before we proceed, let us look at the learning outcomes of this video. By the end of this session, you should be able to first explain the concept of sustainability in change management. Second, describe the factors that can promote change. Third, explain the issues affecting change stickability. Fourth, provide the prescription in promoting sustainability. And last, discuss the factors involved in spreading change. Change will always be part of organizational life. Currently, in any industry, sustaining change has become an integral part of doing business. However, the greatest challenge is to ensure change is not just a transitory or temporary phenomenon. Similarly, Lewin argued that change is often short-lived, meaning momentarily. In his views, whatever change undertaken returns back to the way it was before after a short period. Hence, it is not sufficient to view change in terms of just achieving a new state. Lewin conceptualizes change into three-stage model: unfreeze, move, and refreeze, as discussed in topic 1. Focus is to maintain the new state as long as it is relevant, remains significant, and beneficial to the organization. In this premise, to comprehend and have a wider view of upholding change, this final topic addresses the following: sustainability, that is making change stick, and spreading change, that is spreadability. Let us first describe what sustainability is in the context of change management. Sustainability can be defined in many different ways in relation to small or large-scale change. In this context, it is stated whether new ways of working and improved outcomes becomes the norm, and where thinking and attitudes are fundamentally altered and the systems surrounding are also transformed to support. Concentration is on translating the initial gains into a continuous improvement, and change is therefore sustained when it becomes an integral or mainstream way of working rather than something added on. Thus, it can be drawn that sustainability can be demarcated in different ways in relation to goals, work method, continuous improvement, and the time scale covered. However, the definition and timing that matters are applicable to particular organizational setting, meaning the significant definition is one that applies to a specific organizational setting, that is the context at a given point in time. This further shows that contextual and timing issues of each particular change project initiative is important in organization. Now, let us examine the concept of stickability. Approaches to sustainability problem can be addressed through stickability concept. However, stickability depends on the objective of or purpose of adopters. It will be high if the purpose is focused on commitment rather than compliance. Hence, sustainability can be affected by a range of related change implementation process and practices. However, stickability or holding gains are associated on how sustainability is promoted initially and promoted later in the change process. These two key issues will be deliberated in the next following slides accordingly. Now let us examine the first key issues that have an effect on making change stick. In this context, promoting change early in the change process. The way change is managed from the beginning can affect sustainability. This relates to the approach adopted by change manager from the onset of the change process. That is top-down approach and push strategy, likely to promote compliance rather than commitment and ownership from staff or members of the organization. This push approach is reflected in figure 8.1. The push strategy is similar to the force field of Lewin's theory as discussed in topic 1. Another issue is when change is promoted later in the change process. This can destroy or decay change initiative when less effort is given to hold the gains once the objective appeared to be achieved. According to Buchanan, 3 issues can affect the extent or the nature of decay. How change is perceived, whether perceived as acceptable or threatening. How change is implemented depends on each setting or condition, required appropriate process, and timing, sequence, and pacing of the change process. All this can affect sustainability. Now, let us observe ways in dealing with issues of sustainability and stickability. There are many prescriptions in which change can be sustained. However, the table highlights some issues in relation to sustainability. Simultaneously, it provides the prescribed solutions to the corresponding specific issues accordingly. Let us proceed by examining the issues in relation to spreading change. This will be viewed from the perspective of the organizational change project. But first, what is spreading change? Spreading change is the extent to which new methods and processes or innovations successfully introduced in one part or segment of the organization are adopted by others or elsewhere in the organization. Simply, whether delivered gains in one location, that is unit or department, are applied or adapted and applied across the organization. Hence, the issue focuses on what can be done to promote the spread of change. In other words, the change is spread elsewhere. It is a process whereby the target organizational members are committed to using appropriately the new innovation introduced. According to Client and Sora, spreadability in change implementation stage is affected by 3 factors. First, attributes of the innovation. Second, attributes of the organization. And third, potential target users' value on the innovation. Based on the previous slide, let us explore further the concept of innovation fit. Implementation is a multidimensional phenomenon. The interaction between users' value and implementation environment are of particular importance. Therefore, innovations that are perceived to offer an advantage in terms of capacity to fulfill values and compatible with the existing norms, values and social structures are likely to foster high innovation value fit. Many literature stress that there are many ways that can be done to promote users' perception. In this context, change managers can enhance the innovation fit through: first, educate and persuade the potential users in adapting the innovation to fit with the local requirements and their own values. Or second, work to create a strong implementation climate that fosters use of innovation. Or alert different stakeholders' interests on how this impact the innovation values fit of different groups. Or institute the kind of awareness that can help to disseminate or spread the new ways of working in the manner that maintain equity treatment and minimize opportunities for conflict. In conclusion, what can be drawn in this final topic? Sustainability can be defined in many different ways in relation to goals, work method, continuous improvement, and the timescale covered. However, the significant definition is one that applies to a specific organizational setting, that is the context at a given point in time of the project accordingly. In addition, many of the factors that promote stickability also support further spread. As emphasized further by Buchanan and Fitzgerald, the manner in which a change is spread can influence sustainability. When the changes are implemented quickly without proper consultation, with less or no incentives, and with inadequate training, they may decay rapidly. Similarly, changes that do not have key stakeholder support will not be able to sustain and are unlikely to spread elsewhere. Now we have come to the end of this final video session. To finally sum up, we have covered the concept of sustainability in change management context, the factors that can promote change, the issues affecting change stickability, the prescription in promoting sustainability, and lastly, the factors involved in spreading change. Lastly, I wish everyone good luck and all the best. Thank you and wassalam.